Hey guys, and welcome to Diesel Declassified. This week we're going to be talking about Alien vs. Hunter. Alien vs. Hunter was created in 2007 by Asylum Films. Asylum Films has become popular because they make very low budget movies that have very similar titles to larger budget movies. So, King Kong, yeah, that became King of the Lost World. The Da Vinci Code, The Da Vinci Treasure. Pirates of the Caribbean, Pirates of Treasure Island, and now we have Alien vs. Predator, which is Alien vs. Hunter. Our story begins with a jogger/journalist named Lee Kutzler, who is being played by William Catt, who you might know from the movie Carrie or Big Wednesday, but you wouldn't know him as Luke Skywalker because he tried out for that part, but he didn't get it. Lee is pulled over by expendable character number 1 in the guise of a police officer driving an unmarked black truck, who informs him that he's on his way to investigate a report of something crashing in the nearby area, and that he has to deal with the drunken disorderly call. Both of these issues Lee really doesn't seem interested in, despite being the so-called journalist. So in hindsight, I'm really suspicious that William Catt actually wasn't out jogging in character so much as they kind of caught him running away from this movie.
You're an evil man!
The cop literally has to drag him back into the plot by bribing him with a box of donuts that he has in his truck. Because as we all know, cops leave boxes of donuts lying around in their vehicles.
Finally, someone noticed.
Lee and the expendable guy arrive at the alien crash site, which also happens to be the exact same area that the drunken disorderly was called in, and find that the alien ship is crashed not 10 feet behind it. As soon as they get out to investigate, Mr. Expendable is killed by the alien, and he was 2 days away from retirement. The alien is about to go after Lee when he pieces out and makes a break for the car, and he uses the best anti-alien tactic you can possibly use. He ducks down really low in the truck. Apparently this is a super successful ploy because when he stands back up, he finds that the alien has disappeared and instead has been replaced by a teenage girl who is known as Tammy in the movie. After he gets out of the car, Tammy establishes in the first 10 seconds her entire role in the film, which will be to freak out and or cry. And she will do this in every scene that she is in.
So badly, I'm sitting in my car and I can't get... Calm down.
No! I can't find my mom!
Shut up. Please be quiet.
Help me.
Tammy, shut up! All right. We're gonna find her. Say... Shh. Come on.
The scene then abruptly shifts to them being inside of a 2-story house in the middle of a residential neighborhood that wasn't there a second ago, and shows Tammy in the bathroom where she continues to freak out and cry about the things that have happened to her. Lee, on the other hand, is in the living room and he decides that he wants to make a story out of what has just happened in this town. Tammy looks over and finds, a piece of paper saying that Lee is a journalist, and despite the fact that they've established that these two know each other, she decides that she needs to flip out and cry at Lee because he's a journalist and he wants to make a story out of this. Even though at the beginning of the movie, expendable cop guy was asking him if he wanted to come along and make a story out of it, and Lee said no. After Lee convinces Tammy not to freak out for 2 seconds, it gives him enough time to think that maybe they need to go back to town to warn the rest of the people about the impending alien invasion. He asks Tammy if she has any way to get them down there, to which she says yes, she has a car right outside. They walk through the door and magically appear back in the woods right by the RV, but there's no car. To which Tammy points out that earlier her mom took the keys and used the car to lock herself in after they got in a fight shortly before the alien ship landed behind their RV. To which Lee suggests maybe she took the car down the hill to go visit her aunt that lives down there. To which Tammy replies, "Yeah, maybe."
Hey, you have a car?
Yeah.
You have keys, right?
Yeah. My mom. She locked herself in the car. She usually does that when we get into big fights, and that was a pretty big fight. And I didn't see her car at the end of the hill.
She probably took the car. She went down the hill. You know, you have an aunt down there, don't you?
Yeah. Maybe.
With no car, they decide to walk back to town, and on the way back to town, they have a quick scene of the alien randomly attacking another expendable person who's driving what looks to be the exact same truck they used at the beginning of the movie. This gives the first full body shot of the alien, who has the upper body of a xenomorph and the lower body of a black widow spider. Thus, I will be calling it a Xeno Widow for the rest of this review.
That's Garrison.
Right here!
Go! Oh! Shoot! Come on, we're gonna get back to my... Tammy, come on, we need to get out of here!
The next scene shifts to them being back in the middle of town, so I suppose that the spider was so content with destroying the same vehicle twice that he opted not to maul the very humans that he's been preying on since the very beginning of the movie. Anyways, at town, they decide to pick up Hillary, who's being played by Michelle Pfeiffer's sister Dee Dee, and a handful of other expendable people that will help pad out the rest of the movie's length with their deaths.
Sometimes what you see in front of you isn't what's really happening.
Naturally, no one believes that they are under a possible alien attack, but this does not stop them from calling the army and informing them that there might be a possible alien attack, nor does it prevent them from following Lee in whatever ideas he has of trying to escape the town before the alien kills them all. I'm assuming a lot of their decisions were based on the fact that Tammy was driving them crazy with her crying and or freaking out, so they just really wanted to get out of that room.
I've seen it. We've all seen it. Please, don't go outside.
The next scene has the entire group out in the woods, which confirms that every single door in this town actually is some sort of magical teleporter. However, once they get out there, they start getting picked off one by one by the Xeno Widow. Before everybody can get completely wiped out, though, and end this movie orally, it is conveniently stopped in its tracks by the appearance of a cybernetic hunter that appears out of thin air, who begins to hunt the creature like a predator. Can't make this up. I can't make this up, folks. After the appearance of the hunter, the scene abruptly changes back to the townhouse, and they begin discussing what they were discussing 15 minutes earlier and how they can get out of town without being killed. Lee comes up with a new idea that they should go and find the local hunter in the town who lives in the woods. On the way out to the Hunter's Lodge, a few more expendable people are killed off by the Xeno Widow, but they finally make it to the Hunter's Lodge, and now that they're finally at their destination, what do? They sit around and discuss how they can get out of town without being killed by either one of the aliens while Tammy freaks out.
Great. Just great.
While at the Hunter's Lodge, they decide that they need to split up into two groups. The first group will go out to the woods and meet up with the paramilitary force of expendables, while the second group, consisting mostly of main characters, will go explore the Huntador ship. Why are they exploring the Huntador ship, you ask? Because shut up. So, while they're inside the Huntador ship, they run into a second near-dead Xeno Widow, and through the biggest leap of logic in a movie, they deduce that the only way to get rid of the Huntador is to destroy the first Xeno Widow. Because without any prey, the Huntador will obviously leave the planet in peace. So they grab one of the Huntador's ray guns off the wall and decide to head back out to the woods. Meanwhile, back in the woods, Xeno Widow and the Huntador are busily killing off the rest of the Expendables so this movie can be wrapped up. The main characters all arrive with the alien ray gun, blast the Xeno Widow, and blow it to pieces. Sure enough, their theory was correct. Without the Xeno Widow, the Huntador decides he needs to go home in peace. Doesn't decide to kill the guys that broke into a ship and used his alien ray gun. Also doesn't decide to get the ray gun back from them. With the Huntador gone and the Xeno Widow dead, Tammy, Lee, and Hillary gather up together and decide that they should help Lee write a news article about how these two warring alien species single-handedly wiped out every single person in their town. Holding hands and laughing the whole way, and the most inappropriate ending to a horror movie ever.
Bad form! Sit down now, let's resume the game.
The movie ends on the Huntador ship, where he is having a conversation with a woman over his comm system in perfect English. He removes his helmet, and he's revealed to be a human being, and he smokes a cigarette right before the credits roll. And that, Daredevils, is Alien vs. Hunter. The acting was terrible, the special effects were bad, and they kept recycling the same three sets over and over again, along with the exact same dialogue. The only thing that really kept the movie moving was the fact that they hired a bunch of expendable people to kill off, but even that, they were padding out as much as possible to get this movie to run 2 hours. But overall, I have to say, it was much more enjoyable to watch than Alien vs. Predator. I mean, when a movie gets so bad that it becomes good, it's much more enjoyable than a high-budget movie that tries to be good but ends up bad. Anyways, thanks for watching, guys. Leave your comments down below. I love reading them. If you're interested in following me, you can check me out on Twitter or Facebook. I should have the links down below in the description. I'm Ben Diesel, and this has been Diesel Declassified. Bada peace.